I want to get something out of the way very quick. I absolutely love Nintendo. I really do. Like, ever since I was really small, the first console I've ever had was actually a Wii. I got it on my 11th birthday, I think. So I really liked it. The first console game that I've ever played was Super Mario Galaxy 2, which is very dear to me even today. And I played like a bunch of games in there. I didn't get to play the Wii U. No, I surprisingly haven't played Breath of the Wild yet. I've played Twilight Princess, Ocarina of Time, Skyward Sword. I think those are the only 3 that I've played. Not like hardcore Nintendo fan, but I really like it. Like, yeah, I like it a lot. It's really hot in here. Is it just me? Huh? Joke, I'm getting flirty now. And I mean, because of that, I've also been exposed to a lot of Pokemon, and I really also love Pokemon. Again, I'm not like a hardcore fan. I'm more of a, you know, play it every now and then when the games release. Some of them I've played, but actually Pokemon was a thing that I didn't really get into for quite some time. I think the first one that I've ever played was Heart Gold, and the first one that I played on release actually was Black and White, which surprisingly a lot of people didn't like. Like, I really liked that game. I really liked that game, but apparently a lot of people hated it. Yeah, I really don't know why, but I fell in love with Pokemon ever since. I watched a lot of it when I was a kid too, so, you know, when I finally got to see Detective Pikachu, it was a blast. I mean, it was a really fun movie. And I want to get something out of the way. This is not a review. I'm not gonna like focus specifically on what I liked and what I didn't like in the movie, but this is kind of gonna be a review. I'm gonna talk a lot about the movie, and I'm gonna talk about a few things that I really liked and a few things that I really didn't. Yeah, there were a few things. You probably know what I'm talking about if you watched the movie already. But yeah, when I finally got to see it after 20 years of build-up, because, you know, Pokemon is 20 years old. It's older than me, and all this time we've never had a live action, and probably for the best, because I don't think it could be done justice with the technology that they had 10-20 years ago. So it's been 20 years as a franchise, and it's surprising how well it's done. I mean, yes, Nintendo was big before Pokemon, but you cannot undermine the role that Pokemon played in making Nintendo what it is today. They've had a bunch, like a lot of successful products that come from it. I mean, there's the TV show, there's the animated movies, Detective Pikachu now. And we're not even talking about like physical things, because I mean, you can have physical things like plushies and so on for, you know, Mario, case in point. I mean, Goombas are pretty cute, like with their angry faces, I relate. But it's not nearly as cute and doesn't have the, you know, the cuteness factor, the potential that, I don't know, how many are there now? 807 different cute things that you can, I mean, some of them are not cute. You know, there's a trash can. But even that one, I think, has a plushie somewhere. And it's probably sold like a lot. It's just very successful. It's a very interestingly made formula. You know, it brings a lot. And moreover, even if you don't go strictly to the game, which is a great game, even so, the cartoon, the anime is also very successful. Because I mean, if it was just for the video game, it wouldn't have the appeal. Let's be honest, let's be really honest. How many people in the world have watched Pokemon? How many of you have seen Ash Ketchum? And how many of you still see Ash Ketchum? Either, you know, as an adult watching cartoons, which I do a lot. I wouldn't say I'm an adult though. I mean, look at my face. Or as a newcomer to the series, a child, or even an adult newcomer. It simply works. It's something with very charismatic characters. It's really well made, is my point. Above that, I don't think that's also enough to warrant the fascination, the popularity that Pokemon as a franchise, whether you're talking about, you know, the cinematic universe, not that, although I heard that they're actually trying to do a cinematic universe, or at least like a big franchise of movies, and I've read somewhere that they're doing the Red and Blue story, but, you know, on screen, silver screen. It's a completely different day, and one that, you know, comes after the last video, so I freaked out already, and I'm fine now. It's great. Everything is going just fine. But yeah, one of the things that the movie depends a lot on is a concept that you may or may not be familiar with. I'm talking about escapism. Escapism is by definition, according to Wikipedia, because, you know, I'm a basic bitch, it's the avoidance of unpleasant, and by that I mean boring, difficult, traumatic even sometimes, situations which can be done, be acted upon by a number of ways. We're going to talk specifically about
now is escapist fiction. And escapist fiction is used basically, you know, to practice escapism. It's when you try to leave the world you're living in by a work of fiction. So when you watch Game of Thrones, even though the world of Game of Thrones is, you know, kind of shitty if you really think about it, I wouldn't like to live in Westeros. Or when we play video games, gaming is an industry that's used a lot of it too. It's used in pretty much every single aspect of gaming. It gives more excitement. Escapism, on the matter of excitement, is really big. It's a really big reason of why the gaming industry has grown so much over time. And also why Pokemon is so interesting, is so popular and successful. You wanna be there. Every time you see a Pokemon, you wanna be like, oh my god, I need to hug it. Which is a bit of a form of escapism, and it's something that was very smartly used in the film, I think. Because yes, you can come and say Detective Pikachu has a lame villain. It does have a poorly constructed, kind of lame villain, but that's not what they were trying to do. You're not going to watch Detective Pikachu because you want to see a super well-developed story. You're going there because you want to see Pikachu and be like, oh my god, it's so cute! You know what I mean? And they know that. They know that. They never wanted the film, the movie, to be anything other than that. They wanted to work on escapism. They wanted to work on you looking at Rhyme City the same way that Tim is looking at Rhyme City and being like amazed. They wanted you to feel, you know, that scene, that classic scene of, you know, the country girl coming into New York City, and I don't even know where that's from, but she's coming and she's like singing and looking around and being, this is the start of my new life. You feel like that. When you see all those Pokemon, you just look at that and you're like, I wanna touch it, I wanna hug it, I wanna feel it, I wanna smell it, I wanna be there. It's not even like a question of world building, because they also don't spend much time in world building. They say, oh, this guy done this, but that's pretty much all you're gonna get. And then they just thrust you in Pokemon, a sensorial festival of Pokemon everywhere, and it's just pretty and beautiful and amazing. And it's so well done. But yeah, I think that's my point, and that's also part of the review. Yeah, not quite a review, but a review nonetheless. The movie is great. I think you should watch it. I'm a bit late, considering that it's over a week after release, but who cares? It's my channel, I do whatever I want. Probably why I have 12. I keep saying it's 10, but it's 12 subscribers. I'm a successful fucking bitch. I'm like influencer now. Yeah, you should watch it, even if just for that sense of amazement. Even if you're not a fan, I think it's better if you're a fan, because it's been 20 years, it's something that you've been seeing and you've been thinking, how great would that be in real life, which is also escapism. And you can see that. Of course, don't expect it to be very realistic. It's Pokemon, after all. Go watch it. Go watch it, it's my thing. And I mean, Ryan Reynolds. You should watch it, even if you're not a fan, or if you don't like that whole being thrust into a new exotic fun world. Ryan Reynolds, he's fun, he's funny, it's a very charismatic performance. The star of the show is really Pikachu, and seeing the other Pokemon. I personally love Psyduck. I related a lot to Psyduck. This movie made me feel like Psyduck is one of the best Pokemon, and I haven't felt that like ever. It deserves all the love it can get. But that's it. I hope I can release this still in Friday. I don't have much time though. So, good luck, all that thing for me, I suppose. And have a nice weekend thing. Bye.